Welcome to Catch It, a new perception. We are ending the third season of this podcast, and hopefully next week we will be able to begin the fourth season. My name is Ketuk. Thinking about what our perception is of different things, how we perceive things, how we sometimes perceive that we're different than others, and that is a good thing, or is that not a good thing? Our perception of how we are like other people, and that's a good thing, right? Does it matter how much we are like others or how different we are? Does it dictate a relationship? Does it get us closer to someone? Does it get us further away from someone? What type of similarities matter in any type of a relationship? With a friend, with a spouse, a life mate, whatever terminology you may use. What type of similarities are important? What type of differences are important? Do you allow the differences to separate you? Or do you celebrate the differences and bring yourself closer? If you're doing things to separate yourself, it's just an action you're taking because of the perception that you have. You can change that perception. You can choose to see it differently. I think about how my wife and I, we take different paths in life to a certain degree. She walks one way, I walk another. She has a tendency to appreciate something like church. I have the ability to appreciate something like ceremonies. Are they the same? Some people might think so. Are they different? Some people might think so. Does it matter to me? Not to me. I get connected with family, friends, and the spirits in the way that I do through ceremony. She appreciates going to church and getting connected in that way. I don't have a problem attending church. It's not where I feel the most connected. I feel connected going out for a motorcycle ride. I feel connected listening to music. I feel connected speaking with other human beings, sometimes an individual, sometimes somewhat of an intimate conversation. I feel connected in these ways. How do you feel connected? What is it you're doing in your life to feel connected? Do you distance yourself from the people around you? Or do you connect yourself to them? A big part of this is perception. How do you perceive your relationship with them? How do you perceive the conversation went as you're walking away? Some people might call that an inventory. Whatever terminology you use. When you're walking away from having a conversation with someone, do you feel good about that conversation? Or when taking that inventory, do you think, that maybe could have went a little better? I maybe rubbed that person the wrong way, verbally. Like said something that was maybe abrasive in some way, or they took it that way. It wasn't meant that way, and didn't really correct it, just kind of walked away. Or said something kind of snide in a way that was taken even more so that way. How do you want to feel connected? What do you do? What's the action you take to feel connected to the people that are around you? Or what's the action you're taking that makes you feel disconnected to the people around you? Or what are you doing in your life to be more connected? I think my wife and I are very similar in the sense that our morals and values are in line. Our morals and values are a lot the same. And then I do my best to be able to walk within those morals and values. Have I crossed my morals? Yeah. My values, of course. Yes. And do I do it the way I once did? I don't. Does she cross her morals and values? That's for her to examine or for her to inventory. It's not for me to look at and say, well, you crossed your morals here. Look at your values and look at what you're doing. I don't do that to people. It doesn't help me get connected in that relationship by calling them out on what they're doing or not doing. If I want to sit and call someone out and act as if I'm looking down on them or speak down to them, I don't think that it helps the relationship. When I point out to them the things that I do, I kind of cross my morals here and really rather not do this. I don't want to live this way. Don't want to think this way. Really like to do things different. Or I'm really glad I do things different today than what I once did. And it's easier for me to see now how, when I did what I did, how that affected our relationship. So I'm really glad I do things different today. There's a perception that can shift all of it. And when we treat people a certain way today, it will help tomorrow. So in doing all of this and moving the way that we do, are we more connected? Are we going to take an action that allows us to be more connected tomorrow? Sometimes I say tomorrow, I'm talking about the future. It's not like 24 hours from now. Or I talk about yesterday and I'm not talking about 24 hours ago. I'm talking about a while back when I did it this way and today I can do it differently. So today might encompass the 24 hours ahead and the 24 hours behind and then even multiples of that as I speak of today. So sometimes when I say today, tomorrow, or yesterday, it may be very literal. And then sometimes I mean it in a more general way. Today I act upon my morals and values to the best of my ability. Today I try not to cross those morals and values. Today I don't want to lie to anyone. I have nothing to gain by lying to anyone. I want to be able to find a path that works for me. I want to be able to be honest. So that means the beginning of honesty is to not lie. There's a lot more layers to it and a lot more depth to being honest. So I'm finding a way to be able to get closer to other people, to feel more connected to the people around me by being as moral as I can, in line with my morals. I'm not trying to adjust to someone else's morals. I wouldn't know how to do that. I don't believe that would be healthy for me. It's my values I have to be able to live with. I don't want to live with shame and guilt and remorse. I don't want to live with resentment. I don't want to live with fear. I don't want those things in my life. I need to know how to identify them so I know what they are. And I know the difference of what fear is today. I've talked a little bit about that terminology in this podcast, not recognizing it, and also not being told the truth about it when I was a child. Someone saying, oh, he's shy, rather than he has a lot of fear around people, and he's just learning how to deal with it differently today. And he's getting better with it. So put that in my subconscious, or just tell me I'm shy so I can use it for an excuse to stay sick with my fear. I'm not blaming anyone for doing those types of things. I'm saying I want to do differently with the wee ones in my life in the future. I want to say, okay, my grandson's got a little fear, but he'll be good. He's a really good heart, carries a great heart. He's a great relative. He shows up good and he does the best he can, and I think he'll have less fear tomorrow than what he has today, because we'll help him build that confidence he needs. That's what I'd like to be able to say. That's what I'd like to be able to do. That's how I want to walk. To me, that's creating that confidence in that wee one. That is creating that connection with my grandson in a way that I want to. Creating confidence in him and reassuring that he's getting better at this, and we just have to learn how to walk through life. And when someone said that I was shy as a child, they were doing the best they could. They protected me from my fears. Had they done it differently, my fears may have been too overwhelming for me to deal with. So I don't have a problem with the way that I learned it, the way that I saw it, the way that I was taught. What I know is that I can do it differently if I choose to. And I appreciate everything I got just the way I got it, because it allows me to be able to have something to reflect upon. It allows me to be able to change, to grow, and to become the person that I want to become in the future. It's like after this fall equinox coming up, I want to be a different person than I was at the spring equinox or at the summer solstice. Or come the winter solstice, I want to be a different person yet. So I have much to learn. I want to continue to perceive things different. I need to be able to be fed in a healthy way. I'm not judging good and bad, and I'm not saying I want this or I want that. I'd like to be able to follow the way of the Creator and my spirit guides and the path that's laid out in front of me. To not judge it, just walk with confidence in it. To know that I am walking the path that I need to, in the way that I need to. I'm learning what I need to. It's coming at me the way I need it to come at me. Rather than saying, oh, I've been cheated, you don't understand, oh, the things I've been through, oh, the trauma I had, oh, blah, blah, blah. I can use whatever I want for an excuse to stay sick, or I can use it as a springboard going forward. I believe it'll be a springboard so I can live different in the future. Looking forward to next time. Live in harmony with and use the bounty of the land to bring kindness to the world.